Hi, I'm Rougeaux with P&W Homes Group, and today I have
Andrea, close, also with P&W Homes Group.
So we're going to make a nice video. Andrea is not originally from Washington.
No.
Correct. So she moved up here how many years ago?
It's been 3 now. It was the middle of 2020.
So, and you're from California, right?
Yes.
Okay, California. So what we're going to do today, the video is very easy. Basically, we're going to run through anybody looking to move to Washington State. Andrea has just done this a few years ago, and she's going to tell you what she did to make it a seamless move, or at least somewhat seamless, I hope.
It was somewhat.
Somewhat seamless from another state. So you can use her knowledge and then watch out for the pitfalls or anything that she ran into as well, moving to this beautiful, rainy country of Pacific Northwest. So without further ado, I guess, Andrea, why don't you start with your main tip or what you'd recommend if anybody's moving to Washington? What do you think they should know right off the bat?
Well, I would definitely say if you're moving from out of state or you've never been here before, and we never came here, we never looked at houses here, only online. So maybe that's not the best tip, but that's what worked for us. So I just say if you're not familiar with the area, don't hyper focus in one area for your home search. We started out looking further north than here and realized that just wasn't the place for us, and so we gradually started looking at homes online further and further south and realized that Olympia was the perfect spot for our family.
Oh, good. Now, what made you choose not north? Was it just the home prices, or was it the congestion, or what was?
Yeah, it was predominantly the home prices for us.
Okay.
It was also that we were looking for something quieter, a little bit more rural. Definitely not the Seattle traffic is what we were looking for.
Okay.
But that's what brought us further and further south.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we have here, I will say, is Olympia is quiet. It's almost like a little sleepy town.
In some places,
Okay.
but I mean, when you're in downtown, you have the bars and the restaurants.
Yep, good. So we have some amenities. And so for me, it's interesting. I love other perspectives from people from California.
Yeah.
With that, what do you think of our downtown?
I mean, for me and my family, it works. We're not down there a ton, but when we do want to go somewhere more lively, it's a great place to go. I was just down there 2 weeks ago with my friends, and we had a great time.
Oh, good. Okay, so we have some excitement downtown to Olympia, and then we definitely have some smaller outshoots from Olympia that are country, so quieter, easier.
Yeah, like less than 5 minutes up the street from my house, there's cows, if you want to see that, but another 15 minutes and you're in downtown.
Which is awesome. So I think that's a huge selling point, at least for a lot of people.
It was for my family, yeah.
Okay, good. Now, when you started looking, how did you find your real estate agent?
We found ours through Zillow. We were connected with him through there.
Okay.
And we had talked to somebody else before him, but with him it was just that instant connection, and we knew that that was the right person for us.
Would you say, and I'm always curious about this, would you say it would help to also find an agent that will help you around different areas if you were searching?
Oh, definitely. And that was something that, because we weren't familiar with the area, we sort of asked what his, the furthest areas he would go, what the radius was he would go. So we knew that if that's who we wanted to use, that was the area we had to look in. But he was very helpful in saying that if we did happen to see something online that we wanted to see and it was out of his area, he would find somebody else for us.
And just so you know, this is another agent at P&W Homes Group, Corey Clark, that's with us, and that's how you came to Olympia.
Yep, it is.
And then over to P&W Homes Group. Okay, so any other things anybody from California or anywhere else is moving here, what should they know? Like, what would you say, hey, these are the checklist, or this is what I would have done differently maybe?
Differently, I mean, on the surface level, I would have gotten a bigger moving truck. We did her move ourselves, and it was, we were having issues at the very end. So, I mean, that's something to think about when you're moving 1,000 miles north or west or whatever else is that and you're moving yourself. It's a big undertaking, no matter how well you have organized yourself. But on a less surface level, I guess just think about if you long-term are okay with how rural some of the places are here. If you're working from home, make sure that there's the right internet connection for you, that you're okay with being far away from family, that we do have a lot of amenities here in Olympia, but we don't have them all. Seattle, I mean, is hour and a half away. So they have a lot, but just be really sure that you're okay with all of those things before you make the move.
Yeah, and I do find that as well when I'm with certain friends or clients out further out. Wi-Fi is a little slower, cell phone doesn't work depending on where they live. So that's one thing I found was big is researching, making sure high-speed internet. I've ran into 2 clients that they moved and didn't have that. And so they had to use the Starlink to set up internet.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost always a workaround, but just be sure that it's what you need.
Okay, how about, I'm curious to this question, because myself, I love really good food. I love eating food and wine and cheese. What do you think of the food selections in Olympia?
Again, I think for me, it works here. It's fine. It's great. There's all the options day to day. And if it's not enough for you, we're really close to Seattle, and it's a day trip. It's a date night. It's there.
Well, good. Now, are you used to the rain? I know I get this a lot, so I'm curious of your take.
I mean, we also, both my husband and I were military, so we moved around. We lived in Alaska at one point. So, I mean, the rain doesn't bother me. It's fine. I actually really like it. I prefer it to the sun, to be honest. I know not everybody's like that, but I know a lot of people are. I mean, I took a trip up to Forks last year in November, and it absolutely poured the whole time, and it was great, and that's what I wanted it to do when we were there. So I love the rain.
Well, good. And vampires, Forks.
Yeah.
Werewolves too, right? Yeah. So that's, I think, one of the main things. If you're not used to the weather, if you haven't traveled, or a seasoned traveler like military, like Andrea and her husband, the rain can get to some clients and some people. So that is always one of my cautions I throw out there.
Right. And I mean, something to think about is that, I mean, the stereotype is it rains all the time here. But I mean, it's raining today. It hasn't rained for the past few days. Yep. And it's not usually the really hard rain, it's the drizzle. And I mean, I think we went 50 something days with no rain over the summer last year.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, I mean, if you can deal with it over the winter, a lot of times the summer makes up for it.
It does. And being here locally, I'm used to the rain, but I've traveled and lived in multiple different states, lived around the world as well. And I will say we have one of the most spectacular summers.
Yes.
If you can make it to summer through the winter, you get rewarded with one of the nicest summers.
And there's all the lakes here for the summer. I mean, there's a lot of lakes to swim in right here in Olympia over the summer. So that's great. I mean, if you can hold out through the winter, but there's also lots of things to do in the winter. I don't think the rain always stops from outdoor activities in the winter either.
Well, we have right up in the mountains here, and I think a lot of real estate agents, especially locals, like to bring on this point is we have the mountains about an hour and a half away, depending to ski or snowboard. The ocean's an hour and a half away to surf and scuba dive. Actually, you could scuba dive right out here in the Sound where I go up by Tacoma Narrows Bridge and all hood sport up that way. And then from there, we have city life, Tacoma and Seattle. And so if you need that bigger city, so the whole combination, not only that, it's fresh water, fresh air, or at least fresher than most places.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I missing anything with those?
No, there's outdoor activities all seasons to get outside, even during the winter.
And so I found when I moved to different places, I like to explore and get to know the city. What have you kind of found out that you didn't know about Olympia?
Oh gosh, so many things because we had never even been here before we moved here. We'd been to Seattle and Tacoma years before we moved here. And when we were here for that trip, that's when I said out loud to my husband, I want to move here. I had said that several times before we even got on the plane back home. And it took a few years to make it happen, just financially, all the other things. But we made it happen.
Well, what was it that sold you on it? Was it because we really don't have that. Traffic's getting worse, but as a local, I think that, but it's not that bad, would you say?
No, I feel like it's not bad at all compared to other cities I've been in. And I know when I go to Seattle, the traffic for me, I'm ready to get out of there.
Out of Seattle?
Yeah, after a couple hours.
Okay, and then I'm trying to think what else. Now with home selection, do you think, I know when I look at different cities, especially when I invest and buy, I look at the different home styles and the setups and the prices. Do you think we have a good selection on homes and prices?
Yeah, which is again part of what drew us here to Olympia was that there's, I mean, if you look at downtown, there's the newer apartment buildings that they're putting up right now. I mean, there's ones that are already finished too. There's bigger like home development communities going up around here, and there's the older, smaller homes. There's the homes that are on acreage. There's all the different types of homes. And for me personally, I was looking for something that wasn't cookie cutter.
Okay.
And that's sometimes hard to come by in California, at least where we were living.
Yep.
And so that was part of the draw for me, is that it wasn't a cookie cutter home.
Oh, good. And you got land too with yours.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit of land.
Almost an acre.
See, that's pretty good.
A little less.
So do you garden as well? I don't know this. I should have.
No, that is, we have a joke in my family that I am not allowed to touch any plants that live.
Okay, so not a gardener.
But I enjoy it because we have a dog, a bigger dog. He enjoys the yard. And it's just nice. It's nice to do dishes and look out on the greenery and the yard instead of somebody else's house, for me.
Well, good. No, I think that's what the whole point of Olympia is you get something different. A little bit of change, a little land, scenery, and you can pick whatever you'd like.
And I think that goes across the board. I feel like there's something for everyone. Houses, restaurants, stores. There's a lot of variety in everything here.
Well, good. Well, there you go. So this is Andrea giving some experience. If you have any other questions for her or want any tips, feel free to reach her information. I'll post it on this video. She's an amazing real estate broker, so you can have her show you around, and former military as well, along with her husband.
Yep.
So that'd be really awesome. If you have any questions for me, again, my name's Rougeaux, and
Andrea Close.
there you go. Have a good day, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.